there are ways of using our natural ego tendencies to deconstruct ego, disidentify from ego, have a more clear sense of truth and reality. A major way I see this is through the enneagram lens. So, my personality is a 6, and the main activity there is doubt. So there's like doubt, skepticism. There's a natural deep ability and yearning to understand, and skepticism, doubt is used for that, and a 6 can be very effective at getting to the bottom of things. The issue is that it's used compulsively by the personality, and it's driven by fear. So doubt will happen when it's helpful and not, appropriate and not, accurate and not. Doubting is just what the machine does. Being skeptical is what the machine does. So this gets one quite far as a 6 in determining truth. However, ultimately it's still coming from a contracted false self. And I won't go into why that creates issues, but I'll just assume that you have your own reason why being a false self is undesirable for you, or at least unconsciously being a false self. So the way I can use doubt and skepticism in this investigatory mindset is to apply it to myself. Also, not self-doubt in the normal sense. It's not having a perspective then doubting it, having a desire then doubting it. It's not like that. It's like doubting the perspective itself, doubting the desire itself, and then going the deeper the better, doubting whatever the source is of that desire, of that perspective, of that trigger. So even a step further is also possible. So doubting everything about the experience that's happening. So this is, I'm not a big meditator, and I do consciousness work through contemplation, investigation, inquiry, questioning. So yeah, let's use another example from another personality type. Let's use a 4. The 4 is oriented toward depth. If the 6 is oriented toward truth, and you just doubt to get there, the 4 is oriented toward depth. And to achieve that, maybe we could say the 4 uses multiple identities or fluid sense of identity to do that. 4s are generally very good actors, very creative. They're fluid, not rigid or locked in the one position, and yeah. So the issue is that they're limited to being that. So there's this fixed identity that's oriented toward depth, this fixed identity that's oriented toward multiple identities. And so from that contracted sense of self, they're going into depth, they're attracted to depth. one option for them is to go even deeper into their sense, into their contracted sense of self, and continue going deeper. What they'll find is that there's probably not an ending, I would imagine, and it would be, that's why it'd be very disorienting. That's why it would be unpleasant to do so, because there's not another character to play. There's no landing to say, I'm deep. It just keeps going, so there's no sense of a bottom, and so you can't even say it's deep or shallow, because there's no, it's void, it's infinite. And then they could go a step further into depth itself, infinity itself. Even by seeing something as endless, there's a contracting, there's a labeling of it. A lot of fours talk about this endless pit of, for example, sorrow or shame or sadness. And of course the ego does stuff to avoid that, but at some level they know it's there. And they know that their whole life is acting from the knowing that that's there. But what if labeling it like that is very much the opposite of depth? What if they're slapping a bottom on it, on that endless pit, and being like, it's infinite, and that gives them a sense of security. So you see how these let's use another example too. Let's use the 8. So the 8's passion is lust, and they're after strength. Strength is the orientation, and the way they get there is through lust. So lust is this unceasing, unflinching energy out. And it's a false show of strength. Depending on what level you're talking about strength. I mean, it's not false. 8s are stereotypically strong people. Invulnerable people. So then what if, so 8s show strength through lust. What if they apply that to their identity? What if, and 8s are often consumers. They want more money, they want more drugs, they want more perhaps food, they want more sex. It's this sort of thing. They want more video games, they want. So what if they want more of themselves? What if they put that lust to themselves, including those vulnerable parts that they don't typically ever show, except maybe to those they trust very, very closely? I don't have the mic in. The microphone. Well, hopefully y'all can hear me. I'll put the mic in next time. So, and then what if the 8 considers real strength to be including all parts of themselves, including the vulnerable ones? What if strength is the ability to show the vulnerable parts, not just the strong parts? And then what if strength at a deeper layer is at the existential layer, is recognizing the validity of all aspects of reality, including their own, not being such a hyper-specific character. So, we have 3 layers. We have the ego layer. So, to take it back to the 6, that's doubt. My personality doubts the world, also doubts myself. But it's like going outward and then inward as self-doubt, or going just outward as doubt. The second layer, the mid layer, is, so the first layer is that of the world. The 8 lusts after things in the world. The 4 cultivates and seeks depth and expression and creativity in the world. So that's that world level. The second level would be self. So the 6 puts that doubt from within itself into itself. It's not going out and then coming back as self doubt. And it's not about doubting any aspect of myself. It's doubting myself in a pure sense. What if the 4 seeks to discover the depth of their pure self? And by self, I don't mean like some true self Buddhist concept. I mean like as a self, as a conventional self. Your sense of you-ness that you identify with the personality. What if the 8 looks for the strength in all aspects of itself and lusts after all aspects of itself, not just the strong ones? Then there's the third level, which is existential or reality or experience. So as a 6, I'm not just doubting myself, I'm doubting even the construction of myself. I'm doubting all my senses, I'm doubting all my thoughts, I'm doubting my very sense of self, I'm doubting my emotions, my sensations. It's not about me doubting me anymore, even, or even the fact that there is a me. It's doubting all of existence. For the 8, it's lust after I don't know how to describe this one as well. So I'll just skip to the 4. The 4 would be is there an end to existence? What's the depth status? How deep is existence, experience itself? So, world or projected outward, self, or about me as a personality, and then experience or reality, which includes the self and everything. These are different layers that we can examine reality from. Different layers that we can use our gifts and what we experience as our limitations or our sins or our passions. We can use these for all 3 layers of what is. So that's all for today. Hope you all enjoyed that. Wishing you well.